The original Jaguar XF's character rested largely in its design statement. It established the look that has since spread to the compacts and the large XJ, more than anything that was happening under the hood. In fact, it seemed Jaguar wasn't too sure what belonged there, offering at times a naturally aspirated V8, a supercharged V8, a supercharged V6, and even a turbocharged inline four. Highs looks lovely, quiet inside, exemplary road manners, all-wheel traction, excellent fuel economy. Low is slow, not so special interior, ill-mannered infotainment, costly. No one ever asks a Jaguar owner about fuel economy. When introduced for 2016, the second-generation Jaguar XF offered only a supercharged V6 engine. In our earlier tests of the latest XF and the 340 horsepower 35 tons and 380 horsepower S versions, the lighter, aluminum-intensive architecture and refined handling offset our frustrations with its infotainment system's interface and the minor disappointment that such a pretty-looking mid-size sedan lacks the interior panache we expect from a Jaguar. For 2017, a turbodiesel inline four joins the range as the standard engine, putting the base price for a mid-size Jaguar luxury sedan under $50,000. This Ingenium 2.0-litre diesel is the same one Jaguar uses in its small X sedan and F-Pace crossover SUV. The words four-cylinder, diesel, and Jaguar historically did not commonly appear in the same sentence, so traditionalists are just plain being ignored here. Where we had opined that a gasoline-burning 2.0-litre four that appeared in the last few model years of the previous XF was insufficient with only 240 horsepower on tap to move its 4,052 pounds, Jaguar now reckons that 180 ponies will suffice. What's your hurry, mate? We first drove this version of the car last winter in Michigan during some ugly weather. We could tell that all-wheel drive, which inflates the bottom line by $3,000, was working hard to distribute torque and maintain traction in the snow and slush. It's a task because this little power plant spits out a stout 318 lb-ft of torque, which works well with the 8-speed automatic transmission to disguise the reality of a modest engine charged with moving 2 tons of car. Once we'd crawled through the messy side streets to plowed highways, though, it became clear that this XF was going to make for one of the slower $69,000 car experiences of our lives. Exactly how slow it was we couldn't determine, since the same bad weather shut down our test track. With winter finally banished, we got the car back to determine just how slow it is. We now can confirm that the XF20D is get a luxury sedan's panked big grandmas for bang a Camry slow. Taking 8.7 seconds to achieve 60 miles per hour and 16.6 seconds to cover a quarter mile at 84 miles per hour, the XF20D lands right where you'd expect it to in Jag's diesel range, quicker than the heavy F-Pace, slower than the light X. You've got to have the mentality to drive a slow car fast to justify the sport trim. It brings a lot of extra equipment and some cosmetic enhancements but costs thousands of extra dollars. Its sport-tuned suspension, though, means this car handled much like previous XF sedans we've tested, all of which were Sport or S models. The essence is that the XF exhibits exemplary handling for the class. So, if the 20D takes a while to build up speed, at least one can maintain momentum. Mind you that when we say slow we're speaking in the luxury sedan context, think BMW 5 Series, Mercedes-Benz E-Class, and Audi A6. The XF20D trails the slowest members of that pack by more than 2 seconds. The Genesis G80 needs 6.6 seconds to hit 60 miles per hour, and the Mercedes E300 4MATIC wants 6.5. Objectively speaking, though, getting to 60 miles per hour in less than 9.0 seconds isn't horrible. It's sufficient performance to make merging on freeways trouble-free and to minimize frustrations in daily driving. It won't incite any enthusiasm, however, and the really telling figure is the long 6.2 seconds this car required to accelerate from 50 to 70 miles per hour. That's 2.4 seconds more time than it takes the XF 35 tons to perform that deed, discouraging toll and passing maneuvers. Even the diesel Range Rover outruns the XF20D by a half-second in that key measure, despite fighting much more mass in the aerodynamic drag of a filing cabinet, thanks to a turbodiesel 3.0-litre V6 that generates a more luxury car-appropriate 254 horsepower. As in other Jags we've tested with this engine, it growls some when accelerating at low RPM but quiets down at steady speeds. It has a stop-start system that works remarkably well, considering it's a diesel. The restart sometimes happens with a jolt but not so often that we were moved to turn it off. Fast and no diesel SUVs approach this XF's outstanding fuel economy, though. This one returned an average of 33 miles per gallon in mixed use while we hammered on the accelerator. It even matched the EPA highway rating of 40 miles per gallon on our 200-mile, 75 miles per hour highway test loop. Really, car warriors might prefer hybrid or electric alternatives, but they're not likely to keep you moving for 690 miles without once stopping to refuel or recharge. The XF20D should do it easily. But in the current US retail environment, boasting about your diesel luxury sedan's fuel economy is a poor motivator. What really moves customers are electronic gewgaws that promise to make driving effortless and safer. In sport trim, the XF delivers parking sensors, blind spot monitoring, forward and rear collision warning, lane keeping assist, and a backup camera. For $3,000 more, you can get a driver assistance package with adaptive cruise control, automated emergency braking, and more, but our test car didn't have that. What it did have was enough other equipment to inflate the sticker to the aforementioned $69,000 plus price. While your basic rear drive 20D starts at less than $50,000, as soon as you've added said AWD and sport trim, you're talking $62,895. The technology package $3,200 brings navigation, 17-speaker surround sound, and a 10.2-inch touchscreen to operate Jaguar's and Control Touch Pro infotainment system. A 12.3-inch TFT digital instrument cluster also can display key features. As in previous reviews and various Jaguar Land Rover products, the infotainment system proved irritating to use and prone to glitches such as frozen screens, non-responsive touch buttons, and so on. It twice rebooted itself on a single 50-mile drive. Our test car also had the $2,100 comfort and convenience package, which has heated and ventilated seats in both the front and the relatively roomy rear seats, plus a power-operated trunk lid. We'd skip some of these extras in order to get a 35 tons with the supercharged V6. The price gap varies with trim level, but it's generally less than $3,000. For the old money buyer move to preserve capital by minimizing running costs with diesel fuel economy, the most rational path here might be to take a rear-wheel drive 20D in a lower trim level. Lighter on both the scales and the wallet, such a car might even return slightly better performance and fuel economy.